I guess,
Who
yeah,
cares?
you have, if your glass is half full, then you played back-to-backs on the road, and you walked out of there with a point, and so, okay. Shime, you see that 781 text on the Subaru of New England text line, which says, Shime is always whining about the Bruins on this show. Yes, check.
Sounds about right.
And never offers any solution when it comes to fixing the problems. So I don't know that that's true, but
I mean, look, I think you need to address some of the issues. Defensively, you've been struggling. Like, it's been porous at times. I think, and Greg's going to hate me for saying this, Matt Grzelcyk is a big reason for that. I don't particularly like the way he plays defense. I'm sorry. Yeah. He's probably a great dude. I don't really care. I don't want him on my hockey team at the moment.
Yeah, I don't care anymore. If I see the guy in the elevator, I see the guy in the elevator. He has been that Donnie Sweeney type defenseman that Donnie loves, because that's what Donnie was when he played for the Bruins, was a small, gritty defenseman. They just don't have. Lindholm has been an absolute epic disappointment this season. And he was great in the regular season last year, kind of disappeared in the playoffs, and then continued it this year. Now you got the injury thing to deal with those guys, and you don't. Curtis brought it up earlier. The team is not. They're not intimidating. Like, and I don't know. You can look at it both ways. Wiggy was kind of arguing like he always does. Is that intimidating? Are they not intimidating when it comes to the talent? Or are they not intimidating when it comes to the toughness? I personally think they lack physical toughness on this hockey team. They do.
Yeah, but I think that's more like a product of the NHL in general, right? Like,
that's what I said,
tough
man.
Teams are there?
Right.
Like, there's not many. That's just not the way the game is played anymore.
This is not 1988, Greg. That's not the style of hockey. The style of hockey is guys play with skill, and they use their speed, their talent, and there's not a lot of, and Shime watches it probably more than I do. There's not a lot of these big hits. It's not a lot of, like, guys are afraid to go in the corners no more, because this team.
It's different come playoff time. I'm
It's
just going
still
to tell both of you that. Yes,
it is, and I would say that the Bruins, I think it's perfect. We didn't plan this, but the Bruins being patted on the back for not losing a regulation game on the road this year is sort of what they've become with Monty, which is point accumulators in the regular season, where you're going to lead your division, you're going to be at the top of your conference, you might even win the President's Trophy again, but you're not a team that other teams are intimidated by on or off the ice. I don't find the Bruins in any way. What happened last year was they were a paper tiger. We all saw it. They lost 3 straight games after having the best statistical season in the history of hockey. And now this year, they're back at the top of their conference. But if they open the playoffs today, would anybody be shocked if they lost again in 7 games in the first round?
No, and I'm sorry, the Lightning aren't a tough hockey team? The Panthers aren't a tough hockey team?
I would say the Panthers might be, but I don't think the Lightning are.
Is Vegas considered a tough hockey team?
They were in the playoffs. I don't know. Again,
I don't know what you're looking for in today's game. Like, I don't know if you're
The Lightning have also been dramatically below average this year at times.
Yeah, and you're looking for the days of the big bad Bruins and guys throwing their bodies.
No, I'm looking for a tiny little bit of physicality.
It's not how the game's played today, Greg. Sorry to tell you. I'm not watching any. I'm not like Curtis. I don't have the NHL package.
Well, that's great.
But
I recommend it.
But
Center ice.
The game is played with skill. That's what the game's. But you look at Edmonton. Edmonton is a team, that it's played with skill.
Regular season, it is, but in the postseason, if you want to get that cup, if you want to hoist Lord Stanley over your head, it is will over skill.
But will is different.
Wiggy,
than toughness, though.
I think you think I'm talking about, a goon and fighting.
So what are you talking about?
I'm talking about moving guys out when they are camped out in front of your goaltender, and your goaltender has an issue when it comes to handing rebounds to everybody every shot. So I'm talking about defensemen who are big and strong and can knock somebody out of the crease. That's what I'm talking about. So, and this team doesn't really have that. Like, remove Charlie McAvoy from the discussion.
Mm-hmm.
He's been great this season. But other than that, It's an issue. It's a giant issue to me when it comes to the playoffs.
See, I think, Curtis, you might make a better point.
I am a hockey guy.
Is it the will or, that ability to kind of, play not with an, like that you have this built-in edge, but you're willing to go the extra mile. You're willing to push guys out of in front of the net. You're willing to throw your body around. It doesn't have to be big. And, we all talk about the hit that who was the defenseman, little short kid that we had here for a couple of years?
And then he went down the ice.
St. Louis.
I was just thinking of him. He used to join the show.
He was on. Yes. Why now?
Torrey Krug. Hockey guy.
Yeah,
right. So
Torrey
that's
Krug.
like a will, right? Is it? And that's different. Maybe playoff hockey is more about the team that imposes their will. But you keep
Do
saying.
you think that they got out physicaled by Florida last year when it came to the playoffs?
I think that they got up on Florida and then they took Florida lightly. And then they fell asleep.
Well, you and
they were up 3-1 in the series.
You and I disagree. And by the way, you disagree with nearly everybody who is.
No, I don't disagree with everybody.
Everybody who's texting the show. Do you read the text line?
No, I don't read the text line.
Greg is right. 978 texter. Greg is right. Florida pushed us around last year.
Here's what I would say. What
we need a Kachuk type tough guy. That texter says.
Kachuk went to BC. I know all things hockey. So what the Bruins it was Krug in that it was against the Blues
Krug.
in the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, he got his helmet knocked off and
Right.
he went all the way down the ice and destroyed a guy.
What the Bruins do not possess is a guy that can reshape the momentum of a game or in the playoffs a series with physical play that is intimidating in any way to the opposing team. That is not something that Sean Thornton wasn't a key cog. Old Lucic, who's no longer part of the team, but there were players. Chara. You replace Chara with McAvoy. McAvoy's as talented a defenseman as there is in the NHL, not exactly physically imposing.
Right.
So, that's what this team is lacking.
Yeah.